Hey guys, so in today's video, I thought that I would take the time to respond to a question that I got a while back, but for whatever reason, I hadn't responded to it yet, and I figured today would be as good of a day as any to do so. So this question was asking what CNA training is like. And so it has been a while since I have done my CNA training, and I will tell you that where I did my CNA training was in the state of Indiana. I no longer live in the state of Indiana. I live in the state of Michigan now, so it may be different depending on where you live, as well as the program, especially with like the length of time that it takes for you to do your training. So I actually got certified originally as a CNA in 2008 through the LPN program that I was in at the time that I actually never finished. We can talk about that in another video if you'd like. But part of the nursing program, when we started clinicals in that LPN program, we were already able to be certified as CNAs like after the first week of being at the clinical site. So that first clinical was at a nursing home, and I've kind of talked about that like years ago on my channel, but again, I can share that information again with you guys if you would like more updated videos giving more information. So in 2016, I took a training class that was actually sponsored. So my whole training class was paid for by a company that I had agreed to work for. It was a Catholic nursing home at the time. They are no longer a Catholic nursing home. They got bought out by some corporate company. But at the time, they were a Catholic nursing home owned by a Franciscan, basically nuns. It was like a Franciscan order that owned this nursing home. So like I said, I agreed to work for them for a certain period of time in exchange for them providing my CNA training. So the CNA training was not actually done at their facility because they had lost the ability to do clinical training there due to different reasons. But they basically sponsored me going to a school called Victory Training in Hobart, Indiana, Hobart. It is not pronounced Hobart, it is pronounced Hobart, Indiana. And so basically we did a little portion, I think it was like a week or 2 weeks. I think it was more of a week. I don't know how long they do it now. I know it's a little bit different now how they do the training there, but it was Victory Training, and basically you did a small portion or a short portion of in-class training where we went through like different information, different book work. We practiced certain clinical skills in their little simulation lab. They had a couple of dummies, and we also practiced on each other. We had like old beds that had like the crank to raise the bed. That is awful. If you work in a nursing home that has those crank beds where you have to turn the crank to raise the bed to your level to do anything, I am so sorry. I absolutely hated training with those beds. But we practiced different clinical skills there. And then we did a couple, I want to say it was like 2 to 3 weeks of like actual clinicals at a nursing facility that I actually ended up working at later after I worked at a couple of other places. If you guys are interested in that, I can kind of give you guys more information about that. There are plenty of videos on my channel kind of going through all of my experiences. But when you are at clinical, so obviously I'm not going to talk a whole lot about like the classroom work or the book work side of things because it's kind of common sense. You're just going over basic information, stuff that CNAs would need to do or need to know in order to be able to do their job on a daily basis. Nothing super spectacular there. But when you are at clinical, you're basically learning to do the daily tasks that a CNA would do. So you're going in there, you're getting experience, changing briefs, helping shower residents, emptying catheter bags, anything that a CNA would do during the course of their shift is things that you should be experiencing during your clinicals. Now, I will tell you that the place that we did our clinicals at when I went to CNA training, they were not the nicest to us. Like, some of them were super nice and super helpful, and they would like call us over to help with a lot of different things. They would also call us over to let us watch them use the Hoyer lifts, because we were not allowed to use the Hoyer lifts when we were going through our CNA training. For whatever reason, the facility had a rule where, like, as students, we were not allowed to use their Hoyer lifts, so we had to like sign an agreement stating that we wouldn't use them. But we could watch their employees use the Hoyer lifts. And so I did get to watch a few of those. But like I said, there were certain employees who were just kind of, it seemed like they were irritated with the fact that there were students around. And like, I get it. Sometimes it can be super annoying if you have to train a student, or even like precepting a new CNA or somebody who is new to the job. Sometimes that can get annoying, especially if it's busy. But I have always been of the mind that I want to make sure that the person who is either precepting with me or training with me is getting the best experience that they can and the best training that they can, because I want people to be successful. I want them to know how to do things correctly. And so, like, while it can get irritating sometimes, I definitely make sure to go out of my way to do things in the correct way and provide them with the best experience as I can. Obviously I have no control over what might happen in any given shift, or if they're able to experience certain things. I have been a preceptor for different things, but it just kind of depends. And I hope that, like, during your clinical experience, if you are training to become a CNA, that you have a positive experience. I will tell you that if you are paired with someone who doesn't want to help you or doesn't want to teach you anything or let you do anything, definitely talk to your instructor, because it can be very frustrating if you're not allowed to get any of that training experience. And during your clinicals, that is exactly what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to try to do things. You want to be able to learn. And it's important that you get that chance, because clinicals is the time to learn. Clinicals is the time where, that's the whole purpose of being there, is for you to learn what you're supposed to be doing. So definitely talk to your instructor if you're not getting a good experience, if they're not letting you do anything or showing you any knowledge or new skills or anything like that. Talk to your instructor and let it be known, because again, it is very important. So after clinicals, then we had like a few study days where it was before we took like our state exam, so like our written test, or our skills test, where you had like the hands-on portion of things that you had to do. I've talked about that in other videos as well, but I can give you more information. So we had a couple of those study days at the school, not at clinicals, obviously. And then after that, we spent the one day where we were testing. We tested at our school, and like, they basically split us into groups. So one group took the written test first, and then the other group took the skills test first, and then we switched in the afternoon. And so once we were done with both of those tests, we were able to leave, and we knew before we left if we passed or not. So again, like I said, that was just my experience with CNA training in the state of Indiana and at my particular training school, which was Victory Training, again in Hobart, Indiana, which is located in Northwest Indiana, kind of Chicago-ish suburbs. So anyways, I just thought that I would share that with you guys. If you guys have any other questions about anything healthcare related, weight loss surgery related, college related, I do have an update on college, by the way, so stay tuned if you're interested in hearing more about that. I have worked as a CNA, medical assistant, sleep tech, and a phlebotomist. So any sort of medical questions in those areas, I would be more than happy to discuss on my channel. Just let me know, and yeah, I will talk to you guys in my next video.